This episode is brought to you by Tabletop Dominion. If the antics of the circus have given you the desire to roll some dice of your own, head to tabletopdominion.com and use the code DESIRE10. Victorious again, another victory won. We have killed your friend, leaving you the last one. You say you'll let us past. Oh, don't make me laugh, you have no choice. You have no choice. Eviscerate. Decapitate. No more llamas in my life. No one's gonna take my gold away. With all the little ones now dispatched, we're free to take their horses, who canter round oblivious to their previous owners' corpses. Perhaps we can sell them and retire. I'm getting too old for this in Dice and Desire.
Okie dokie, that's it then. We're out of combat unless you want to slaughter the horses, horse slaughterers. What do you want to do?
Gather up the horses, I think, firstly.
While Sam's gathering up the horses, I'll rifle through the pockets of all the dead bandits.
Can I at least have the one that was closest to me?
You can have that one.
Yay.
Oh, this is lovely. Okay, so you look amongst the corpses and combined, you find... This is going to annoy you. 17 gold.
Nice.
13 silver.
Wait, is this across all, or are we doing one at a time?
Across all of them.
Are we in agreement this is just all going to Dweezil in the kitty?
Yeah.
So, I don't know why I said yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, I agree. 17 gold, 13 silver, and 13 copper amongst the
How
the
many
lot of them.
electrum?
0 electrum. Nor platinum. That is all your coins. The other things you find are obviously the respective weapons. They've got leather armor, I think, across them all. Larry had studded leather armor. The rest of them had just standard leather armor.
Are we just taking all of this?
I guess it can just get in the bag of holding, surely.
Yeah, we can just sell it all when we...
Yeah.
Yeah, so how many suits? How many?
I mean, 10. 10.
There's 9, so there'd be 9 leather armor, 1 studded leather.
Yeah, okay.
You'd also find 9 scimitars.
As we're obviously collecting from the bodies, I'm also going to gather the bodies to create, like, I guess, a pile on the side of the road.
Nice.
I don't think it's worth keep taking scimitars, is it?
Nah, not really. The pennies.
You get coppers.
Okay.
Coppers.
You do. So I assume you don't want this dagger either.
I'll have a dagger.
Yeah, no, that's a nice dagger.
Okay. Oh.
Not for me.
Hang on. As I'm putting all this armour in the bag of holding, I noticed that there's a vase in there.
No.
Well, you wouldn't notice that because you didn't tip it out. So what
very roughly though.
What I will say is, on the scimitars, as you're searching them, when you get to Larry's scimitar, you notice that it looks just a little bit nicer than your normal scimitars. And as you're turning it over in your hands, you probably get the impression it looks a little bit sharper, it looks a little bit more dangerous than the rest of the scimitars.
Ooh. It's a plus one.
You also find on Larry in particular, a set of dice.
Oh.
I think you need them, mate, with your rolls.
Ooh.
So, who wants to be what animal? I'm Bagsy and the Penguin.
Oh, of course. You also find so I should say you also find a load of masks, some of which are a little bit blood splattered. One of them in particular is somewhat damaged. It's got scraping damage.
I think one of them would be in half, wouldn't it? If you cut someone in half from the head down.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, some of them are actually cut in half. So yeah, and then obviously the horses themselves. Now, obviously, it's what you want to do with the horses. Whether you actually want to.
I mean, how far are we from this town we're heading to? Like,
So where you're headed. So I'm assuming that you're sort of you maybe look at this as part of the discussion as to what you want to do with the horses. You look on the map that Greg's been holding on to since Lord Bon Riponson's house, and you see that Everland is probably about another 2 days ride away. But which is your intended goal. But you also see that there is there's a village or a hold that is less than a day's ride away from where you are now.
so what? We head for the village and try and flog some horses.
I'm keeping this one for Vin. Vin gets his own horse now.
Brilliant. What's it called?
Martin Horsese.
I'll ask the questions. Excuse me, and my friend here wants to keep you. What's your name?
I've named him. It's Martin Horsese. That's what I've called him.
What was your name before he decided to give you a new name?
Who's given me a new name? I'm Gertrude.
Nice to meet you, Martin.
You didn't even. Oh, you misgendered the horse. No, I'm Gertrude.
Couldn't even talk 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That's very true. That was a joke, though.
How many alive?
We all knew how this was going to end, didn't we? We all knew this would end up with this. Sorry?
How many are alive? Like, of their horses?
All the horses are alive.
Oh, we didn't kill any horses.
Nope.
I mean, 10 horses is a lot to take.
Yeah. How are you going to lead them?
I've got quite a bit of rope.
I've already pre-tethered mine at the ankle, which seems a bit counterproductive. Yeah, I'm going to use some rope around the horse. Well, presumably it's got reins on it, surely.
Yeah, I'm sure we could just create like a convoy of horses.
Yeah, I'm just going to ride the horse with one hand off the side holding the reins of the other horse. Like, lead it.
I mean, I've played a lot of Red Dead. We can definitely convoy horses.
We need to hold 2 horses each. Plus
Yeah, that's fine.
horse.
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe you could ride them circus style, 1 foot on each.
Right, so we just taking one extra horse each?
No, let's take all the horses. They're worth a fortune.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, but that's what I mean. One horse each. Oh, no,
2 horses each.
Yeah,
there's 10 horses, 5 of us.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's 750 gold we potentially sat on.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, take 2 horses each, and we'll just carry on.
Yeah. If you want to keep one of the horses for Vin, though, because that's 75 gold.
You're going to have to put it in the kitty.
You'll have to give Sam, what's a fifth of 75?
15, mate.
You'll have to give Sam 15 gold pieces for his share of that horse.
Don't you fucking start. Christ, we don't need 2 of you.
I'll let you off, mate. I'll let you off.
Oh, thank you. Vin thanks you.
So talk to me
The
about how...
krill tax. The krill tax doesn't apply to mates.
Talk to me about how you are actually. What's the logistics of taking these horses? How are you actually bringing them along?
I'm just sat on my horse in the middle. I got one on my left, one on my right. They're all tied together, and we go.
Is that how you're doing it, side by side?
That's how I'm doing it.
I'm going to do mine with a bit of rope, but they're going to be behind. So I'm going to be riding my horse just with a bit of rope, almost like leading them, like a sort of dog lead type thing.
I'm going to do the same.
Like cowboy style,
Yeah.
Okay.
Not weird triple-decker wingman style.
Double sidecar over here.
Flying V style.
Right. Okay then. Quinch, how are you? The plan seems to be that you're taking 2 horses with you.
Oh, God, okay. Leave for 5 seconds and...
Well, apparently the 10 horses are coming with you because they seem to be...
Right. We're saddlemen now, are we?
For every horse you choose to not take, you owe the kitty 75 gold.
We're stable folks. So, sorry, is this 2 in addition to DOS?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
So 15 horses.
They're worth a lot of money.
We were waiting till you got back before we gathered all their names.
Have you got their names? Oh, you haven't got their names yet.
We're not doing that. That would be cool.
Well, it seems quite obvious. They've all got saddles, right?
Right.
Yes, this feels pretty obvious, pretty
It's
natural.
not obvious yet, but carry on.
So I'll be riding Doss, and then one of my wings will be perched on the saddle either side of me, much like a sidecar.
The obvious choice.
Oh yes.
Seems quite obvious.
I didn't know where it was going, and it didn't disappoint. Okay.
Was it obvious to you?
No, it wasn't obvious. No. Okay, so can I have then a collective?
What's that?
Is one of you haunted?
That was Romana's sneeze.
What? Is that
Sneak attack.
You might want to go check she hasn't slipped in the shower or something.
That's the normal. That's probably on the quieter end.
It's like when you open a chest in Zelda and an enemy lurches out.
Yeah. Happened in Boots the other day, and I think everyone within about 50 foot turned around. Ramada's genuinely scared of what happens if I sneeze on the plane, right? Yeah.
Don't try not to.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah. I hope
You
not.
probably won't in like an 18-hour journey either, so be alright.
Yeah.
with the air conditioning as well, drying? Like,
Yeah.
should be absolutely fine.
I got no worries.
Yeah.
She looked so offended.
Right.
Can leave that bit in.
Yeah, why not? Right. Can we have a collective animal handling check, please?
Big up, here we go. I've actually got a very high animal.
21.
Oh, 12.
12.
I'm looking for a DC 15.
20.
So that's 2. So we're down to dab off.
I would like to use. I got nothing to amend this. If anyone's got any inspiration, use it now.
I mean, you can't. Can you gift inspiration?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, I'll gift him my inspiration.
Wow.
Wow.
Ah.
If this is terrible now, I'm sorry. It's terrible.
I take back that inspiration.
Dabble, what did you get?
Rolled 16.
You're fine then. You just all, luckily, the krill quinch dab-off method, one of which is wings on each horse guiding them,
Flawless. Effortless.
manages to keep the horses calm enough, and you set off on your merry way towards Everland primarily. But as I say, you know that there's actually a place called Olliston's Hold, which is best part of a ride away. It's best part of a day. Sorry, away.
Best part of a ride. I was going to say.
Yeah, best part. It's the best part. It's after that. It's the worst part. This battle that you had with Larry and his little ones, which is ridiculous to say out loud. Yeah, that was about midday, if I recall, after you set off from Nona's Hold. And yeah, so you set off now towards Olliston's, and at first things carry on. You've got the moors to the sort of to the north of you, and you've got the high forest, which is still dominating your vision to the south. But after a few hours, actually, the forest starts to sort of push back, and you eventually get this sort of large clearing to the sort of southeast of you. There's nothing of interest there. There's nothing that sort of catches your eye, but it just at least gives you a bit of breathing space and doesn't feel like everything's enclosed in on you. You carry on for a few more rides, and actually you're sort of heading into evening time, as eventually you start seeing the walls of a keep or a walled hold coming up. Now, what do you to sort of be metagaming here? There's nothing of interest at Olliston's Hold. However, obviously you've got all these horses. I assume that you don't want to go through the whole role playing thing of just going in and all that sort of stuff. So we can do the mechanics of the horse sale in the morning.
To be honest, Nate, I want to back up a little bit. I actually take issue with something you've said. You said you've got all these horses as if we've got some sort of abnormal amount. We have just a perfectly normal sensible amount of horses. It's
15.
15 horses.
We've got,
And a goat.
We've got 15 and we've got 15 and right. That is.
I think you also missed that whether or not it's true, Daboff wants to keep one of the horses for Vin.
Yep.
So
100% serious on that.
That is more than I thought we had actually. Okay,
I will also keep a horse. I'm keeping both of mine. One for Sebastian and one for Mosey.
We do have.
I've never seen a goat riding a horse.
We are the circus. That's yeah.
Okay.
Does Jay want to keep both of his for his wings unless they get tired?
No,
Oh, you know, like when one of those big planes has like jets under each wing, you're just gonna have a horse just flying through the sky. It's gonna be amazing.
Grinch feels like he's getting carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel.
Christ.
Don't worry, we're all fucking up.
I don't want to know about the sex games that you and your wife play.
He's not allowed in DFS.
Roll for abrasive damage.
Right. So, are you intending on doing anything here other than selling the horses, getting a comfortable night's sleep, and move? Right. Okay. So we'll go. Let's quickly deal with the mechanics here. Right. So first and foremost, you turn up. I'll give you just a flavour of what the place looks like.
Yeah, we at least need to get the name of the stable that we're selling to, just in case there's some animal welfare issues later on.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. We should double check just to make sure.
Okay, so this is Olliston's Hold. As you approach, obviously, first and foremost, there's some guards at the front gate. They give you quite the bewildering eye as you turn up with what can only be described as an army of horses. However, at the gate, I presume that you explain that you've come across these and you're looking to sell them. Perhaps you even, what excuses would you give to a guard?
We got a letter that our grandmother died, and she left us these horses, and we just want to find out what they're worth.
When you say our grandmother,
I'm gonna say our excuse, a more feasible excuse, is going to be like, well, we're heroes, you see, and we helped this young farmer out, and he had no money to repay us for our services, so he gave us these horses as payment for saving his life and the life of his family.
And that farmer was our grandmother.
The guards on the gate give you quite the bemused look, because even with that, whether or not that's true, that's still a farmer that says he's got no money, but he's still able to give you 10 horses, which are quite a pricey thing. But ultimately, they accept.
I don't have any money. Here's $750,000.
It's all tied up in the stable. The guards, they give you a bit of a weird look and but they seem to believe you and let you into the place. And they tell you that you'd be best to speak to a name called Gary, who deals with.
It's Larry's brother.
Gary the Garmer, who, he'll deal with that. He deals with that side of life, so they give you the directions of the stables for all this, and you head there and you speak to Gary, and he offers you. Now, it's worth noting that by the book, they're worth 75 gold pieces each, but that's obviously the buying price that you would be expected to pay. He's not going to buy them at 75 if he's only going to be able to sell them at 75. So he actually only offers you 50 gold pieces per horse. So it's still 500 gold pieces for the lot.
We have learned that I am not good at negotiating, so somebody else may need to, take the reins.
I feel like that's
on this
reasonable.
One.
I think it's
I think that's a fair price.
That's a fair price. Yeah, I'm not going to hang with that.
Crow's fuming that nobody's tried to.
Can I try?
He does
haggle a bit.
It's worth noting you do actually hide Larry's horse round the back so that he can't see the severe damage that Krill did to it.
All you said was that I threw an axe and gave it a second arsehole.
Twice as much manure if you think about it.
So we only want to sell 9 of these, correct?
Yeah.
So
I would like to keep mine.
It's 450.
Right. we'll happily accept 450. We would take it in gold if you hadn't. Do you have any gemstones? We'd be happy to take the value of the horses in gemstones if you had any.
Gary does not have any gemstones.
Oh,
no, it's just plain gold. Plain gold.
Are we all happy with four? I think
I think it's a fair price.
It's a decent day's work, lads.
I reckon we could haggle it up a little bit, surely. Say 500 for 9 of them, extra 50.
No harm in asking, is there? No
Yeah,
harm
may
in
as well.
asking.
I'll do it if you want. I've got quite a good persuasion.
Go on then. Hang on. While you're doing that, are there any knocks? Are there any locked doors or anything knocking around?
Any locked doors?
Yeah.
You do see another door in the stable. You see another door on the to the back of it.
I'll pick the lock while Luke does the negotiations. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, he has been teaching you. He has been teaching
Yeah,
to.
I'm going to see you doing it out of the corner of my eye and be slightly proud while also trying to haggle. I'm just going to say these are good horses. They served their previous master, that was our grandmother, really well. They're not just soft horses. They don't spook easily. Apparently, none of them ran off from our grandmother.
Have they ever heard Romana sneeze?
He's going to counterpoint with I understand that, but equally you're turning up in the middle of the night claiming to be horse traders without any paperwork to suggest you are such. I've still got to make a profit on these at 25 gold pieces each currently, so I'm happy to walk away from the deal. And you can see a few horses in his stable already. He's like, I'm happy to. If you don't think that's a fair price, then
all right then, 450 plus 50 delivery since we bought them to you.
I think the answer is 450 plus VAT, so an extra 20% on top brings it to a grand total of 480. Please,
I will give you an extra 10 gold pieces if we end this deal right here, right now.
He wants to go bed.
sold.
Yeah, it's fairly. It's fairly
460 sold.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
How's that lock coming along, Stuart?
Good. Oh
yeah. Give me a sleight of hand on it. At disadvantage because you're not yet fully trained by Damov.
Quinch starts taking the saddles off of the horses and leading them into the stables.
18.
I taught you well.
Yeah, you hear a little click, and the door opens. Inside, outside, you see the Olliston's hold. It's just a door It's just a door leading to the outside of the barn.
You found the outdoors.
Okay. So while you're in town,
do I take like 2 cold damage or anything?
no,
Oh,
nothing.
that's cool.
No, it's fine. He didn't teach you that part there. I think that's in the Masters part of it. Okay. So, so you're just willing to see the night through, yeah? And just get on your merry way in the morning. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay.
Dweezil, do you want to pop these 9 saddles in the bag of holding?
I'm assuming we sold all of the saddles and the tack with the horses, did we not?
No, we kept everything. Saddles, shoes.
We've just got 15 saddles.
Good deal.
30 no, not 30 horseshoes, 60 horseshoes. They have 4 feet each.
I know that we are just doing a quick rest. It's a long rest, isn't it?
Does that heal the horses? Because Kevin is absolutely fucked.
Okay,
Oh.
but obviously I know when we do our downtime stuff, are we able to do that?
Yeah. If you're willing to, if you're looking to do what we discussed, then I haven't got anything for that just yet.
No, that's fine. I'm just going to declare that I intend to do it.
Okay. I declare.
So basically,
We've had this many horses, and we turned into Southern Bells. Brilliant.
It's what's his name? Shoehorn Leghorn, is it?
Shoehorn
Leghorn. What's his name?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn. I don't know.
Shoehorn. You got to draw that now. You got to draw a shoehorn with a beak.
It's weird. I knew it, and I just just got it so wrong. Yeah, I should have just left you talking about the Southern Bells. What was I saying? So I've got
Shoehorn, Leghorn.
Leghorn.
So I've got my dread. A while back, I picked up a dread helm, which is the one that makes my eyes glow red, but it's a bit naff. And last time we played, I picked up the bear skin. So I'm going to start working on trying to fuse them together. But obviously, the first thing I want to do is just sort of tidy up the bear skin a little bit, cut away the crap to see what I'm left with. So that's what I'm going to start doing in my downtime, is tidying that up.
He's sort of fused. He's sort of fused.
I'm assuming
Dreadhelm with
Dweezil,
bearskin
if you,
shit.
yeah, Dweezil, if you got a comb, you don't know the kind of guy who's got a comb.
Yeah.
Can I borrow it?
No.
Can I borrow it if I haven't made it at all obvious what I'm going to do with it?
I do declare.
I do declare you got no hair.
I need to tidy up my mohawk. It got a bit damaged in the battle.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
And with that, I disappear with it.
Okay. I just want to cover something. Did you guys take
I've taken Larry's scimitar. Yeah, just
Okay,
Larry's
okay.
scimitar.
All right, I'll come to that in a second. So we've sort of jumped a couple of steps. I don't want to roleplay too much. Well, a little bit actually in a second, but the idea, my understanding is that for the rest of the night, you're literally just going off to chill out in the inn, get a room, and do all that, right? So the room is going to be, depending on what size room you want, between 5 and 8 silver pieces each per night. So we can do the maths on that. There's enough rooms to house all 5 of you, but it's whether you want to do all 5 or whether you want to do smaller rooms. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll should we just have a room each?
Yeah.
A room each.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 5. So that's 25 gold silver pieces. Yeah. Okay. You can knock that out of the kitty. Okay. You'll hold up in the one and only inn in Olliston's Hold, which is called the Flying Flagon, named after the fact that there is this magical flagon that floats in the middle of the inn, which releases light out into the rest of the tavern.
I'm having that.
If you really must. You settle down for the evening. You maybe have some food and drink before you go off to bed. The evening passes fairly uneventful, except for one thing, one conversation that happens. As you're sitting there talking away, can you all roll me a perception?
16.
25.
1.
23.
Also 1. So 3 overall.
Dabble.
Mine is 1 over.
23.
23. Oh, so close. You're milliseconds away from noticing it first. Dweezil's first, though. He notices this sort of young elven girl, sort of quite mousy and plain looking.
And Quinch didn't notice this. Fucking hell.
She's heading sort of over towards your table, and then sort of like gets halfway to it, and then she sort of stops, and she sort of turns away, and then she sort of starts walking away, and then she sort of stops again, and then she's like, you sort of see her take a big deep breath, and she sort of heads on back over to the table, and she says, this is really rather difficult. I didn't expect to. Is it really you? I'm really quite excited. Is it you? I can't believe it's you. You probably get this all the time. But would you be willing to sign something for me?
Who's she talking to?
She's sort of talking to nobody at the moment. She's sort of just very. You can see that she's quite nervous. You can see that she's quite distracted, or not distracted, but she's just like shaking someone.
May I ask where you know us from?
Of course I would recognise the greatest barbarian of our age.
As you should. Is it just me, or do you know them too?
Sam is literally flirting. He's doing all flirty body language.
Do you know these guys, or is it just me that you're familiar with?
Sam, where the fuck did you get that cheese board from? You just got that ready to go.
She looks at you and sort of furrows her brow and says, "Sorry, who are you? Sorry, I'm you are," and she turns. You are Quinch Felborn.
Ah, fuck.
Oh,
Baited properly into that one.
hello.
Oh my god, he's looking at me.
Krill just sort of sidesteps out of the way where he's awkwardly been stood or sat directly in. Yeah, he's fuming.
Quinch's wings slowly start unfurling.
Oh, they're bigger than they're bigger than I thought they would be.
He's only had about a week.
You'd be surprised how often I hear that.
Krill just tucks into his cheese board, sobs a little.
My name's Millicent, and I just have to say I am your biggest fan. I've heard so much about you. My God, I cannot believe that this moment is happening. I'm here, and I'm stood in front of Quinch Felborn. My friends are not going to believe this. Oh my goodness. Would you mind signing something for me? They just won't believe it if I don't tell them.
Yeah, of course, Millicent. I'd be happy to sign something, but I have to wonder. I don't think I've led too much of a fame-driving life. How did you hear of my exploits?
So humble. This is, oh my goodness, the songs that they sing about you, that they don't talk of your humility. I mean, you are you're the man who killed the 3 Bacta brothers. Yes, you are.
I haven't really told these guys about that, but yes.
I mean, you did steal the Karatosh boat. Yes.
The Karatosh boat. I thought that was under wraps. That whole debacle.
Oh well, there are literally hundreds of bards that are singing about this very moment. I don't doubt. I mean, you destroyed the city of Glaggle.
Yes, Glaggle. That was regrettable, to be honest. They had a very fine vineyard at the rear.
and I don't. This it's a bit crude to talk about this, but I mean, they also talk about when you. And she leans in and whispers in your ear, "Seduced Lady Valaise."
Oh, Lady Valaise. Her 4th arm was the one that really did it for me, good God.
And you really, if I had time, I really don't, but if I had time, I'd love to find out how you brought peace to the 4th Trident.
The 4th Trident, I'd be happy to tell you all 4 of its spires. Are you free tonight?
Oh, she sort of nervously giggles, and you see she blushes. I don't know. That's naughty. No, I shouldn't. I really have to. I might. And at this moment, you see like a group of young girls are sort of walking out of the inn. She's like, "Oh, they're actually
hang on, young girls."
legally aged younger
Phew,
females.
game on.
You see a group of them, and at this moment she sort of turns. She goes, "Oh, my friends are actually leaving. I mean, this is we were just about to go anyway, and this is it's just serendipity that you were here at the same time. I can't believe this." And she sort of goes, I didn't expect to see you in this place of all places. Why are you in Ollaston's Hold? Why are you in the Flying Flagon? I just didn't expect it. I have nothing on me to sign. Is there anything that you? I mean, you could sign my clothes." And she's wearing like this. She's wearing this like drab sort of not drab, sort of like plain looking like traveling clothes. There's nothing particularly interesting, but sort of brown
Give her the potato.
brown traveling clothes.
No,
Give her the signed potato.
I couldn't possibly. No, she's definitely not getting the potato. I couldn't possibly ask you to ruin your clothes for this. Hang on a second. So I reach into my backpack and pull out the book that I've got, the Dogs of Love, written by Trent Cars. I just I thumb through it for a bit. This yeah, it's a good chapter. No, I don't want to touch that. And I find a
you
fairly
are
blank
aware
page.
I've got parchment if you wanted.
Nah, she'll like this more. Find a page that's got a few acknowledgements on, but a mostly blank page. I rip that out. I'll
I thought he was
sign.
giving her the whole book.
Oh God, no. There's some good reading to get out of this. So he scribbles his signature on there and passes off to her. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I hadn't realised that my escapades had travelled as far as clearly they have, but I'm humbled by your desire to meet me. Yes, I'd just like to thank you for your time.
Oh no, I'd like to thank you for being just such a humble and friendly. They don't talk about how friendly you are, and she leans in and she gives you like the lightest of pecks on the cheek, and then she just whispers into your ear, saying, "You've made my life. Thank you. I will never forget this evening." And she sort of like walks off, and you see her head off into the night.
A tear falls out of Quinch's eye.
Krill finishes his cheese board. Well, that was fucking weird.
Indeed. Could you tell us, please, about the 4 spires?
Sorry, Nate. What was the fourth? I didn't. I took a note of almost everything, but I didn't quite.
You brought peace to the 4th trident.
Brought
Yeah, and
peace
then you said,
to the
I will tell you about the 4 spires.
4th trident. Yeah, correct. So the fourth trident. It was a small burial ground in the upper moors of Escafel.
I have cousins in Escafel. What's your favourite part?
Well, it's quite small, isn't it? Certainly not the 4th trident. But the 4th trident was a burial ground that became overrun by the undead. The undead enslaved the townsfolk, and I liberated them, culminating in a battle with the 4 bosses of each of the spires there, and it was a messy business that had to be done.
And this all happened before you were level 1.
I don't know what you mean by such numbers, but it happened a long time ago, yes.
Can I roll insight on Quinch?
On Quinch?
Yeah.
Oh, please do. Oh, I'd love for someone to call him out on his bullshit.
No, 3.
Okay. Right. So yeah, that happens. That's the only sort of real interest that you, or any sort of out of the ordinary behaviour that happens here. You have a few drinks, get yourself off to bed.
What?
You're right, Stuart.
Yeah, what's wrong?
I'm concerned that I'm concerned that somehow you've just dropped the ball there. I don't think you should have given that girl a piece of paper with your writing on it. I don't.
Did you see the signature that I gave her?
What did you write?
It was just a Q that looked a little bit like a breast.
I'm like Dweezil's just trying to wrap
Uppercase
his
or
brains.
lowercase?
Oh fuck! God, imagine a lowercase Q that looked like a tit hanging on there like a bit of string.
Gregomel, are you aware of any magics or the other things that are facilitated by having a piece of someone's writing or someone's name or signature?
Well, I'd have to consult the books and see what I can find, but I can't recall anything off the top of my head.
Where I'm come from, we have a name for this deep, dark magic. It's called crazy girlfriend shit.
If it is of any constellation or consolation,
Constellation.
It's in the stars.
if it is of any consolation, I memorized the acknowledgements.
Okay.
Weird, man. That was weird.
Yeah, I said that too. I said it was really weird.
Like,
I must say I'm surprised that she knew about some of that stuff, especially Lady Valaise. She wanted to keep that quite hush-hush from what I sort of gathered from the situation, how it ended. But
as far as I know, there are likely only 2 bards in the whole of Faerun who sing songs about Quinch. One of them's me, and the other is probably Catamonda Piggins when she's singing songs about me and she mentions Quinch just as an incidental character. Categorically, there are not hundreds of bards singing songs about Quinch.
I agree. I mean, they'd definitely be singing it about me before they were singing it about Big Blue over there.
She did say hundreds of bards, I imagine, as in it was more sort of like, it wasn't literally hundreds of bards. She was more sort of like...
But then I feel like she'd have recognised Dweezil as well.
No, I mean, Dweezil, none of those exploits were... if they were true, they were pre... I mean, not... Let's make this clear. When all of these Prezel, all the times when Quinch says, "Do you remember the time in What's It where this thing happened?" Dweezil doesn't remember any of those things either. This like,
I mean, Dweezil was probably high back then.
Were you? What you were? Were you?
My sobriety coincides with.
He saved you by virtue. Yeah.
Yeah, something. I think that essentially what we've just done there is completely derail the entire campaign, just so that Nate and Michael could have a weird little flirty conversation again.
We shall see. Right. Is it as you head up to bed? Obviously, the interaction that Sam and Stuart talked about earlier about the helm and everything that happens. Anyone else got anything else they need to be doing? I don't think we've had a twizzle with the box, the many-coloured box.
Yeah, I'll give that a go. 100% though.
Okay. Slightly, please.
Slightly 12.
12. Ooh, that's interesting.
Ooh, you say it every time, but usually nothing happens.
Well, it's usually interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay.
So I'm so convinced this box is just a red herring. That it's just we're gonna finish up the campaign, and it's gonna be like,
unresolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, add a copper piece in it. You just never
That's
roll
fine.
11 twice in a row. I think.
Anything with Vin?
Yes, I'd like to train him to retrieve
ride a
money
horse.
again. Yeah, that's the next thing apparently. I'd like to train him, which I believe is the 10th time.
As you're training Vin, you just note, like almost as you start to train him or starting to do go through, he almost reacts before you've even tried to ask him to do something or try to interact with him to do it. He's literally on somewhat of an autopilot. And you're now fairly convinced that young Vin Weasel is fully trained in the art of artifact gathering.
Wow.
Now, what that means mechanically is that if a creature dies within a certain range, I can't remember what it was. If it dies within a certain range of Vin / you, he will automatically, as a reaction, nip out to that creature and root around to try and find something on their body to bring back to you.
Amazing.
Wow.
Nice.
That will be sort of a bonus action. That will be a randomly rolled item. So it could be cash, it could be an item, it could be nothing, theoretically. Depends what the roll is. That is a bonus little thing. It's not unlikely to be anything spectacular. You're not suddenly going to get a +3 bazooka.
Or a second goat. Could I get a goat?
You might get a goat. Who knows? You might get maybe he comes back with a weasel family.
He comes back pregnant. What a twist.
But
yes. So something will happen within.
What the female version of Vin would be? Vivian. Viv.
Yeah. Viv Weasel.
Let me see. I don't think did I note down the distance? No, I didn't note down the distance. I don't know whether it'll either be 5 foot, so it'll be like literally if it happens right in front of you, or it'll be within his traveling distance.
I think didn't we discuss like half his traveling distance?
Yeah,
because
so he can get there and back
as well. But I think like 10 or something. But we'll figure it out. Okay. Whatever you decide.
Yeah. So that's that. Anything else? Anybody else wants to do?
No, I'm good.
Don't think so.
Combing my crusty bear skin with Dweezil's comb. To be fair.
Can't wait for you to give it back to him. You sleep the night on through and wake up the next morning. And after a good night's sleep, you head back out onto the road. Very much quids in. You've turned up with 10 horses, with 15 horses. You're leaving with six horses. How's Vin riding the horse then? Talk me through this insane choice.
I'm leading the horse, and Vince is Vince. Fucking hell! It's only been at like 150 odd episodes, and I still don't know his fucking name. Vin is just kind of on top. He's not really riding it. Yeah.
Not really riding either. So just
just kind of just phoning it in. Really, the passion's long gone. It's routine now.
Yeah.
Just going through the motions, like just bored as fuck.
Comes out there with an artifact.
Right. No,
Have we broken Stuart?
Yeah.
How can you say that and not realise?
Right, how can I say this not filthy?
He's riding side saddle.
Riding bareback. He is merely perched upon the horse.
Yeah,
He's riding the pony.
Riding the stallion. There you go. Because I'm going to offer up the horse. Fucking hell. Grow up.
You edited an episode fairly recently where this exact thing happened to me, so you know exactly how I feel about the childish behaviour that's going on here.
Yeah, I have so much sympathy for you, Nate. Just in general. Would anyone like to store anything on the horse?
That one's not even funny.
Yeah, I don't get this. Like, we now have a horse to hold all our shit until we can get a wagon. Until we can get the Rolls Royce.
A horse of holding.
Yeah. Imagine it like the mule from Buckaroo.
What was this horse called? It does need a name. We can't just call it the horse.
Martin Scorsese. That's his name.
Quattro? No.
Quattro, like an Audi.
Well, she's if it's the one that was tied up, she's Gertrude. Although Davos calls her Martin Scorsese.
Well, I didn't hear her say Gertrude.
No, you didn't. No, and it's up to Krill whether he tells you.
But basically, this is a horse to store all our unneeded shit on. And Vin just happens to ride atop this horse in a completely non-sexual fashion. He has never looked so bored.
And the horse understands that.
It's a mutual understanding they have. It's a completely loveless relationship.
Yeah. Right, lovely. Okay. that derailed everything. Okay, so you set off into the morning. No, into the morning with dew still clinging to the grass. You already knew this on your journey to Olliston's Hold, but you knew that Everland was, about another day or so's ride away to the north. As you start travelling, the high forest starts to encroach back in on you and starts to dominate the area to the right of you. But the moors basically give way. They sort of stop, or they start becoming more populated by trees. And suddenly you start seeing this to the north of you. Well, actually, as the road starts turning towards the north, it's now more to the west of you. You start seeing this less impressive, like, woodland. To the right, huge, great big dominating trees. To the left of you, very much smaller, and you can actually see lots of patches where loggers have come and they've literally chopped down trees on this area, but nothing anywhere near that on the right. And you start maybe questioning, why aren't loggers attacking this side of the road? You carry on, though. There's nothing there that particularly interests you. It's just a conversation you perhaps have while you're riding. And you carry on riding for a little bit. And soon, though, the two forests essentially sort of give way, and you're out on the open road. And it's the first time that you felt this for quite a few days now, that actually there's almost nothing to the either side of you. And you almost feel like you take a collective breath out. You start seeing some signs on the road towards Everland, pointing now north, and you carry on travelling for a few hours. Eventually, though, you start seeing off in the distance these huge mountains, and you see this walled town city approaching you as you carry on travelling. As you get closer and closer, you realise, and you start seeing the road signs that are sort of starting to the distance to Everland is starting to get smaller and smaller on these road signs, and eventually you realise that this is your eventual destination. Eventually you get close enough that you can see the actual walls in great detail, and you can see the gates that your expected entry point to Everland. You start seeing some guard towers dotted around this wall. You start to see a few buildings just peeking out above the top of the wall, a few towers as well. In fact, you see one particular tower which sort of just feels like it's this big beam out into the sky. And but all of this is very much framed with these dark, dangerous, craggy-looking mountains behind them. Very much an area that you can already sense is not a place that you want to be going. It looks like a place that just is not forgiving or welcoming. And in fact, one of you, someone just looking a little bit more detail, actually sees off into the distance. You start seeing these large winged beasts flying around the mountains. You can't really see how many there are, but just every now and again one just sort of appears way off into the distance. Like, you can't make out any detail whatsoever, other than you can tell that it's some sort of flying beast. But it looks big and it looks deadly, and it's certainly not something you'd want to deal with. You start approaching Everland. Thanks for listening. Make sure you don't miss out on the circus's next crazy antics by hitting subscribe on your podcast app of choice. And in between episodes, you can always find us on social media by searching Dyson Desire on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. We're in our 3rd year now, and if you want to help us grow, you can do so in a number of ways. You can tell a friend, because word of mouth really helps us get our name out there, or you can review us on Apple or Podchaser to help with our visibility. Finally, you can donate to our Ko-fi page to help us take the show to the next level. All links can be found in this episode's description. And never forget, sometimes it is a dog licking a tree. Yes?
After the loss of his father, Colin must start over at a new school in a new city and make new friends. None of this comes easy to Colin, but he quickly finds a small group of like-minded role-playing friends that accept him for the slightly awkward teenager that he is. At the weekends as Sebastian, he battles to save Callum's Reach from the dark, malevolent creatures that inhabit the Brood Forest as part of their weekly game. During the week, Colin, prone to overthinking everything, must learn to face his own demons as he battles to fit in at Ridge Valley High School. Can Colin put into practice some of the skills that his character is learning and make the same impact at school as Sebastian is in the Brood Forest? Can his weekly game help Colin in more ways than he realises? The only way to find out is to read the book and see if Colin can become the Warlock at Ridge Valley.